It is time to start putting it all together. Okay, so you can see we got right triangles here, right? And it says find the missing side of each triangle. So that means we've got that Pythagorean theorem. But you can also see now that we've got some radicals here, which are going to make things a little interesting. All right, definitely dicey, definitely interesting. Okay, so I'm going to stay away from number two just because I can look at number two right now and just see that I don't really like him. So we're going to stay away from two. But right off the top of your head, if we're looking for missing sides of a right triangle, we know we're going to have the Pythagorean theorem, right? That's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, where that c is always the hypotenuse, right? The hypotenuse. So let's come down here to number one, and if you printed out your notes, you're good to go. Okay, if you didn't print out your notes, it's going to be a little trickier for you, but you can still draw this image here and just leave all this junk out at the bottom. Technically, I wasn't even supposed to have this down here, so if I wanted to, I could like get rid of those answers, but I didn't print it out right, so that's my bad. Okay, so let's write our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And you're really going to have to focus on today's lesson because it's going to get there's a lot of moving parts. Okay, this is everything we've already done. This is everything we already know how to do, but it's all coming together here. So you're really going to have to take your time and make sure you don't mess up. Okay, so first things first, let's come across and label this guy as C. We can label this guy as A and label this guy as B. All right, now let's go and plug everything into our formula here. So we said our A is X, so we'll just make that X squared, plus our B is 4, so that's going to be 4 squared, equals our C, which is square root of 82, but we're going to make that 82 squared, right? The square root of 82 squared. Now, anytime you have a square root that is squared, watch, it's gone. So just that's the big part of today's lesson. If you have a square root that's squared, it's gone. So technically, that's gone. So let's go ahead and move forward. We have x squared plus 4 squared is what? 16 equals 82. Okay, let's subtract 16 from both sides. We know how to do this. And we get x squared equals, what's 82 minus 16? I should totally be able to do this, but I've done a bunch of videos. It's 66. 66. Okay, our last step is to take the square root, and we have x equals the square root of 66. Now, we do see that answer over here, which is a possibility, but we're not done yet. Let me show you why. Let's go back to one of our previous lessons and see if we can break it down. Okay, what's 66? Isn't it 11 times 6? Okay, cross it out. And we have 2 times 3, cross it out. Do we have any pairs? Do we have any pairs at all? No. So we can't simplify. This is a square root that we can't simplify. So our answer is just going to be the square root of 66. Okay? So do you see how everything kind of came together there? It did. We have our Pythagorean theorem. We have simplifying radicals. We've got it all kind of coming together. And this is when I really start to love math because there's just a lot of stuff you have to worry about. You have to be concerned about, but just minimizing mistakes. We don't want to make mistakes, right? Okay, so 3 looks easy. To be honest, I think you can do 3 right now on your own. And I know why you can do 3, because none of these guys down here look like they've been simplified. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and try 3 on your own and see what you get. Okay, let's go over 3 now. So remember, this is my C, right? And then either of these guys are A and B. It doesn't even matter. A, B, doesn't matter, right? Okay, so let's say A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A squared, that's 4 squared, plus B squared, well, my B is X, so I'm going to say X squared, equals c squared. My c is 11, 11 squared. Okay, 16 plus x squared equals 121. We got to subtract the 16 from both sides. X squared equals, I think it's 105. And our last step is to take the square root and cancel. And it looks like we get x equals the square root of 105. Okay, now, typically you would break this guy down. You would say, what is 105? 3 times 35, maybe? 3 times 35. Cross it out. This guy's 7 times 5. And do you see any pairs? No pairs there, so we can't simplify. So our answer is just the square root of 105. How's that? Money, right? Money. Okay, let's keep cruising. Let's definitely keep cruising on this. Will you go ahead and try 4 on your own? And I know for a fact that you're going to be able to simplify the radical. Okay, 4 on your own, and I know you're going to be able to simplify the radical. So just take your time. While I check this assignment really quickly, I just want to take a peek and preview what your homework's looking like. Okay, so that's your homework. I think you kids can do that. Now I'm going to preview lesson 14 real quick, just for the heck of it. Something totally different. Okay, so let's go ahead and try 4. So let's shoot across. We're going to label this guy C. Okay, C. Now, which means this guy's A and this guy's B. So we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And this actually is the only video lesson of the day. You only have one, so it's going to be a little longer. We're going to do a lot of practice, okay? And then what we're going to have is probably either a quiz or a test or something definitely coming up, because I looked at our next lesson right now, and it's something completely different. So we're going to focus right now, try and master this, and then this is the end of Pythagorean theorem and simplifying radicals. So our A is 3, we'll say 3 squared. Our B is 3, we'll say 3 squared. And our C is x, so we'll call that x squared. So what do we get here? 9 plus 9 equals x squared. 9 and 9 is 18. 18 equals x squared. And the last thing we have to do is square root both sides. And it looks like we get x equals the square root of 18. And you're like, I don't see that down here. Did I mess up? No, you didn't. You didn't mess up because you need to break this guy down. 18 is 9 times 2. Cross it out. And remember, 9 is 3 times 3. Cross it out. Do you see a pair? We got a pair of 3's that's going to come on the outside as a 3. And those are our leftovers. Remember how we did that a couple weeks ago? Our leftovers stay on the inside. So our answer is really 3 on the outside. And we have our 2 on the inside. 3 rad 2, right? So which answer is that? That's D. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Okay, now we get to practice. We're going to end up doing 5, 6, 7, and 8 together, and then we'll be done actually for the week. This is going to be a little bit of a longer lesson, but it's going to be good review for you. This actually has, just so you know, if you can do these problems, you're fine on the test. You can do everything you need to know on the test. So in actuality, this is kind of like a test review, just these problems right here, because it has everything mixed in there. All right, so let's go ahead and do number 5 on your own, and let's see what you get. Press pause, attack 5, and then come back and press play when you're done. All right, let's get it. So we've got shoot it across, and that's our C, which means we can have A and B. All right, and we always do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? So let's plug them in. Our a is 5 plus our b is 10, and our c over here is just x. It looks like that's 25. 5 squared is 25. 10 squared is 100. And x squared just stays the same. 125 equals x squared. Square root both sides to get rid of that squared. And we have x equals the square root of 125. Now let's look down here and see if we see that. We don't, which means we got to break it down. I think it's 5 times 25. Cross it out. And this guy's 5 times 5. Cross it out. So we have our pair right here. He's going to come out as a 5. And those are our leftovers on the inside. We have 5 root 5. Boom. Solid. If you can get that, you are a beast, straight up. And you've got a good teacher. So put those 2 and 2 together. You are set. Okay, let's try 6. Número 6. 6, right here. Let's do it. Press pause, attack 6, and then press play when you're done. All right, let's shoot across. Boom, boom, boom. That's our C, A, B. Let's plug it in. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We'll call that X squared. Okay, 3 squared is 9 plus 6 squared is 36 equals X squared. I think we get 45 there equals X squared. Square root both sides. Gone. And X equals the square root of 45. And I'm like, yeah, I got it right. Oh yeah, boom, boom. Okay, but that's not over here. We don't see an option, which means we got to break this guy down. 9 times 5 is 45. Cross it out. And 3 times 3 is 9. Cross it out. We have a pair of 3's. It's going to come out as a 3. And that guy's our leftover on the inside. It looks like our answer is 3 radical 5 or 3 root 5. Same thing. Oh, which means B is the answer. Okay? Heck yes. Heck yes. What do you kids want to do? One more? Let's do one more. We'll call it. This is it. 7 and we're done. 7 and we are done data. Okay? Pause it, attack it, come back and we'll go over it. Now, I like how this one's rotated because look, you still got to go across and make this guy C. Even though he doesn't look like C, he's C. That's why I make you do that arrow across from the right angle, which means this guy's A and this guy's B. Okay, so let's do it. We're going to say square root of 6 squared plus B is 2 squared equals X squared. Now, what did I tell you? If you ever have a square root that's squared, we just get rid of it. So it looks like we have 6 plus, what's 2 squared? 4 equals X squared. 6 plus 4 is 10. Square root both sides. And we have X equals the square root of 10. And you can't break that guy down because it's just a 2 and a 5 inside, and there's no pairs there. So that is that. Now, you're going to have quite a few problems for homework. Hopefully not quite a few. I mean, shoot, it's less than 13. I'll tell you exactly how many you have right now. 8. You have 8 questions for homework. And then, yeah, you can hit me up on the private message if you need any help. I am always here for you, okay? Good stuff, kiddos.